Yes, I'm wearing a tiara. Why? Because we're infusing the new way with feminine energy this time. Now, this is not just nothing, a whole new way needs to happen. Listen, I wasn't born into the American story, but America is a foundational part of my story. This is why I know that I'm back here again, because my story almost ended. And then I thought, I need to find my true path. Where's my true path? And then it ended up being here. There's more to that story, but I'm not going to talk about myself. I've been talking about energy a lot, and I always get like, what are you, a socialist, and bring your politics back to where you come from? I don't come from anywhere. I mean, my story started here. This is my home. You can tell because we're so mired in what we identify with as Democrat, Republican, Independent, Socialist. Blah. Oh, yeah, Antifa. Yeah, the Antifa. I want to talk about that. We're going to talk about that first. I think it's very interesting how they're spinning this Antifa thing. And I have to say, I only learned what it was at one of the protests. I was like, what is Antifa? Okay, it's anti-fascism, but it's anti-something, like anti-this, anti-that, anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ, we need to stop with the antis. We need to make it into an I am pivot 180. That is more of a positive action. We should change the whole Antifa thing to all the people who actually really know that their energy and do want to pivot from where we are today to where we could be going eventually after this part of the regime is over. They're not going to tear it all down. We are going to infuse the new way with feminine energy. It is all about story, and it's about the fact that it's such a short story. We are now on 249 years. Almost 250 years. Here are the two things that could happen. The regime could tear it all down because they are not happy with this melting pot of diversity that we've become with 240 million people, different people. I'm not talking about Democrats, I'm just talking about people. Live and let live, people. If we were called I Am Pivot 180 instead of Antifa, what could they say? What could they really say about us? Oh, we want to stop these people who are trying to gaslight and force us into some kind of white Christian nationalist place. That's going to be a bad thing that we want to pivot out of there. I wish we would just drop all of our politics and just come. If you do come to this experiment, you come as energy. There's no judgment. It has to be a different thing. This is why I keep reaching out as, are you there, Margaret? It's me, Angel, because I grew up with you. And we had the same story, the same energy. And I feel like there is something in that childhood, something in the gift of that childhood, where we were allowed to grow up and be so blessed, so blessed. Okay, not all of us. I'm not saying everybody had a perfect childhood. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, no, that little black girls of our age did not grow up in the same way, but we didn't really know. I mean, I didn't even know there was racism. We were all watching Tootie on The Facts of Life and Different Strokes. I didn't know racism was an issue. There also isn't a lot of black people in Holland. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We are here now. We are here now. And what I am thinking is that out of all the communities and groups that there isn't really a community for women because it's all been divided by politics. Oh no, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're this, you're that. Pfft, we're not going to go there. We need to go beyond there. We need to go deeper than that. Deeper to remember to who you were before you even knew about politics or any of this kind of stuff. That's the place that you need to reconnect to. Because the country's so young. And the Europeans that came over just gave up their nationality and their traditions and became white Americans. And this is the problem. The whole thing is man-made. If I was a white American, I don't care if I was Democrat, Republican, or whatever, if I had inherited a kind of mindset that was unhealthy and toxic towards other people for no apparent military reason, I would want to deconstruct that shit. I would want to know what's going on. And I'm not going to judge anybody for feeling the way that they feel, because this is like 400 years, depending how long your ancestors have been here, of a conditioning and a mindset. I would really think that no matter who you are, if you are a stay-at-home mom, if you own a business, even if you're a celebrity, if you're a teacher, if you're whoever, all different types of women need to come together now and reconnect to their true nature. And this doesn't mean that you're being fake and you're not who you are. You are who you are. But you are also, if your childhood was so protected, foundationally, you're super, super strong. But then you had to navigate around the way it is. There's no other way. There's no other way around it. You had to navigate around the way it was because they made the way. And now we need to infuse the new way. So the only way we could do that is to reconnect to that one. That's what we got to do. I am a transformational life coach, but I don't think that this is a one-on-one situation anymore. This is a collective. We need as many as possible. I just heard, and I've heard this before, that it takes 3.5% or 5% to create real change. Now, they were saying about the No Kings protest. Okay, cool, love that. But I don't think things are going to change tomorrow. I mean, I don't know about all the politics. That's not my area of expertise. My area of expertise is this energy thing. What is happening here, this regime and No Kings, this is happening all over the world. And America we were born to be this beacon of democracy. And, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Our creator, all that. We were born to be that. And I think that this moment is more than a test. I think it's really about women reconnecting to their true essence so we can be who we were born to be. Imagine how many different things can be created because we have 400 years that got us here. And I would say that maybe the new way would be about using your talents, doing what you love in service to the community, in service to what needs to heal on a collective level. But then healing is so boring. But maybe we'd make it fun because maybe we'd dance a little, let our hair down, dance like no one's watching. Who knows what we would do? We're losing our creativity and we need a little bit more out of the box thinking. And I'm telling you, when you reconnect to your true nature, you're out of your ego. And believe me, I had to do it myself. If I didn't have my accident in 2006, I would not be listening to myself right now too. So thank God for my accident. I took one for the team. I took one for you. And now I know what to do and how to get us there and get us there quickly. One mission, one vision, one goal. Infusing the new way with them in it. It's so good. Can you imagine if America could be as magnificent as the founders first thought? I mean, they didn't know what was going to happen. They were just like, we're going to make this constitution to have amendments so that we can evolve. But they didn't ever want any change. Never wanted any change. Always fierce resistance. No civil rights, no equal rights, voting rights, no, let's gerrymander, let's make it hard for them to vote. Let's do this, let's do that, let's not, this is not the way of nature. It's really not. We need to make it the way of nature. We don't have to be scared because look at that. Look, Stephen Miller, Mike Johnson, these are little weasels. They are going to be the end of us? No. You have more power than you know. More power than you know. And this is just bullying. It's putting us in they expect us to be like a certain way. I know all about this too. And what you're doing for yourself, for your own story is not selfish. It is what is necessary right now. Because if we can do this, because of what's going on in the rest of the world, and we can turn it around here, imagine the ripple effect on the rest of the world. The rest of the world is waiting. And why shouldn't we, as Americans, as being such a young country, be able to pivot? Why? Of course we can. We're young, we're resilient, we're creative, and we're just going to get on with it. We'll take our time with everything else, but we need to, if we can do this part and then get in new administration and new stuff in a different way in 2028, we are going to be like, we're going to be able to hit the ground running. That's where we need to go. That's my vision. All right. I'll see you next time.